Alright, this is Chapter 8, Lesson 3 on composite figures. Composite figures are figures made up of several different shapes. So when I look at this first one off of page 634, you're looking at a strange shape that's made up of, if you cut it right here, a half circle, which we call a semicircle, and a rectangle. So if I want to find the area of this thing, I'll need to take the formula for rectangle, the formula for a circle divided by 2, and add those two things together. So let me go ahead and do that. I chop it there. This is a pretty easy one because if this is 1.5, then this is 1.5. And you're going to hear me say this a lot. Use your L's and T's. So there's the L that forms the right angle, so I have a base and a height. So I will be taking 1.5 times 2. 1.5 times 2 is 3. It would take 3 squares to cover that rectangle. This circle, however, has a diameter of 1.5, and if I'm thinking about area, I don't want the diameter, I want the radius. So let me cut it in half. When I cut that in half, I get 0.75. So if I want to find the area of that, I take 0.75. I square it. I take it times 3.14. The problem is that gets me the area of an entire circle. So I'm going to divide it by 2. And I get 0.883125. Wow, that's pretty. 0.883125. Add that on to the 3 that you already had, because it's the area of this and the area of this. And you get 3.883125 units squared. Wow, that's an ugly number. So, what we did is we cut it into shapes that we knew. We made sure we found the area of each piece, and then we added them back together. Could we find the perimeter for that thing? Sure. You'd add 2 plus 1.5 plus 2, and then I'd have to find the circumference of a circle, and I would divide it by 2. Does that make sense? So if I want, well, let me just do that. So I find the circumference of that circle, I go back to the diameter, which is 1.5. I take it times pi, 3.14. Then I'd have to divide it by 2, because remember, that's only halfway around a circle, and I get 2.355. That's 2.355. I have another 2, a 1.5, and a 2. So add that. You get 4. You get 5.5. Add together around the top and around the bottom, and you're going to get 7.855 units around. All right, the second one. We want the area of the shaded. Well, the area of the shaded is actually just a trapezoid, isn't it? So there is a formula for trapezoid. That's area equals 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2, where bases of trapezoids are the parallel sides, so this side and this side. I could do that, or I could take a rectangle minus a triangle to find that. I'm going to do it this way first, and then I'll do it the other way just to show you as well. So if I find this rectangle, use your L's and T's, I would have 11 times 6. The area of this one is 66, base times height, by the way. Triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I have 4, and since this was 6 over here, it's 6 over here. So here's my L. 4 times 6 is 24, but I have to divide by 2, so I get 12. And then 66 minus 12 is 54 units squared. If I want to put it in this formula right here, 1/2 the height. So I'd have area equals 1/2. The height is 3. Base 1 plus base 2. Well, this one's 11. This one I don't know, so watch me find it. If it's 11 from here to here, and this is 4 of it, then 11 minus 4 is 7. So 11 plus 7, I would take 18 times 3 times 1/2, and we have, oh, I took the half, sorry. I already did the half, I was confused with what I did. I took the half of that already, so that'd be half of 6 times 11 plus 7, which gets you 3 times 18, which gets you 54 units squared. I almost missed that problem. All right, let me give you one more. This is just a bonus one. So I see several ways you can cut this. You could cut it into a trapezoid, rectangle, and rectangle. I'm going to cut it into a triangle, rectangle, and rectangle. Okay, and I'm going to find the area of each one. Find the right L and W. There's my L for that one. 4 times 24 is 96. This one is not 6 by 10 because 10 doesn't go far enough. I need 10 by that whole distance. Well, how do you find that whole distance? Well, I need that distance. I'm going to have that one eventually anyway. So let me remind you, if this is 24, and this is 8 of that 24, and this is 10 of that 24, then this distance must be 24 minus 18, right, which is 6. So this distance is 6, which makes this distance 10 plus 6, or 16. So my L and T is 6 by 16. That's another 96. And now I have this 6, but I don't know this distance here. But once again, if this whole distance is 18, and here's 4 of that 18, and here's 6 of that 18, then if I take 18 minus 4 minus 6, I'll be left with this up here, which is 8. Now I have to be careful because that's a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. So 48 divided by 2 is 24. Now all I have to do is add 96, 96, and 24. So I'm going to do that. That'd be 130. Man, I'm really struggling. 120 plus 96, which is 216 units squared. I probably ought to get a calculator since I'm struggling so much. 96 times 2 equals plus 24 is 216. So I got it right, even though I struggled a bit. All right, cut it into shapes you know. Use your L's and T's. If you have missing measurements, you have to go find them from what you know. And by the way, to find a horizontal measurement, you only use horizontal measurements. So I can use 24, 8, 10 to find out that distance. To find a vertical measurement, like this 8, I have to use vertical measurements, like 18, 6, and 4. Piece together what you know and what you don't know, you'll be able to find the area of the composite figures.